atomic structure in under 3 minutes. So we have an atom. In the atom, you have a nucleus in the middle, which contains protons and neutrons. Surrounding the nucleus in these shells, you have electrons. So protons and neutrons both have a relative mass of 1, whereas electrons are much smaller. They have a relative mass of 1 over 1,836. Protons have a charge of +1, neutrons 0, and electrons have a charge of -1. Now, when you look at any element, there's always two numbers involved. The bigger one is known as the mass number. That tells you the number of protons plus neutrons. The smaller number is the atomic number. That tells you the number of protons or electrons. If you want to work out the number of neutrons in any element, you need to take the mass number and minus the atomic number from it. Now, definition of isotopes is atoms with the same number of protons but different number of neutrons. For example, we've got two isotopes of carbon here, carbon 12, carbon 14. They have the same atomic number but different mass numbers. So carbon 12 has 6 protons, 6 electrons, and to work out neutrons, you do 12 minus 6, which gives you 6. For carbon 14, protons are 6, electrons are 6, and neutrons are 14 minus 6, which is 8. The definition for relative atomic mass is the weighted average mass of an atom of an element compared to 1/12 the mass of a carbon 12 atom. The reason we use carbon 12 is because it is a standard, which means everything else is compared to it. So 1 mole of carbon is assumed to be exactly 12 grams. The definition of relative isotopic mass is the mass of an isotope compared to the mass of 1/12 of a carbon 12 atom. And you can use this equation to work out the relative atomic mass of any element. So let's look at a quick example here. We've got two isotopes of chlorine, chlorine 35 and 37. And when we use a mass spectrum, we get the following graph. Two peaks, one at 35, one at 37, and 75% abundance for one and 25% for the other. To do this calculation, you do 35 times 75 plus 37 times 25 and divide that all by 100, which gives you 35.5. Another thing you need to be able to work out is relative formula mass or relative molecular mass, also known as RFM or MR. And all you do is add up all the individual relative atomic masses for each element in the compound or molecule. For example, for Cl2, we got 2 atoms of chlorine, which is 35.5. You times that by 2 to get 71. A harder example is ammonium sulfate. Nitrogen is 14, hydrogen is 1, there's 4 of them, so we times by 4. We times the whole thing by 2. We add sulfur, which is 32.1, and then 4 oxygens, which is 16 times 4. This gives us 132.1.
This was obviously a very quick summary. For a longer, more detailed explanation of the topic, check out the link to the full lesson and subscribe to my channel.